Hi everyone, I'm Johnny. Welcome back to Bad Weather Barbecue. And today we're talking about burgers. But it's not just any burger. We're talking about the best burger you've never had. We're not just talking about any old burgers today. We're talking about one of the best burgers that I've ever had, known as the Dirty Diana. To fully explain this one, I need to ask you to come back in time with me to 2017. I also need to take you to the home of the Beatles and Everton Football Club. That's right, we're off to Liverpool. It was coming up for my birthday in 2017 and I was due to visit my parents in Liverpool. And I was asked where would I like to go out for dinner. So I had a little look on Google to see what barbecue restaurants were available, and whilst there were a few, there was one that stood out particularly, and that was known as the Rookwood Bar and Grill. Now I loved the Rookwood. It had a great atmosphere, it sold great drinks, but most importantly, it provided great food. What I really loved about the food there was just how inventive it was. Yes, it covered the staples like steaks and burgers, but the steaks were unusual cuts and the burgers were some of the most unique burgers I'd ever seen in my life. The Rookwood was one of the first places that, whilst I wasn't new to barbecuing at the time, it was one of the first places that inspired me to trying to barbecue bigger cuts of meat and showing me that I could do that from home. It was one time where I came back from a trip to Liverpool and I went to my local butcher's and ordered a big picanha steak, but ultimately I didn't know how to cook it. So I sent an email down to the Rookwood and the chef was very kind enough to come back to me and let me know exactly how to cook it. In 2017, however, the burger of choice was the Dirty Diana. So this was a 6-ounce beef patty, a 4-ounce flat iron steak, topped with Diane sauce and onion rings. And let me tell you, it was one of the best burgers I have ever had. Sadly, the Rookwood ceased trading in the latter part of 2017. However, its legacy will live on. They say that imitation is the highest form of flattery, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at how to recreate the classic Dirty Diana burger. Before we start cooking today, I did just want to mention that I am changing just a little bit of the original recipe. As I mentioned in my introductory video, I wanted to cater for every form of dietary requirement, and today's no different. I'm actually going to be trying to do this gluten-free today. So there's not much gluten in it. The onion rings, which are done in a batter and fried, we will change the flour of that to gluten-free flour, and we'll also be using a gluten-free bun today. But everything else is as the original recipe was. So let's start today by making our burger. And it's 3 simple ingredients. It's 20% fat mince, salt, and coarsely ground pepper. And that's it. Just a quick point to make here. I've been asked over the years how I make burgers, what binding agents do I use, for example, eggs or breadcrumbs. And the answer is always the same. I don't use any of that. The key for me to making burgers is keeping the mince cold, and once you've formed your patty, you then put that back in the fridge until it's time to cook. So that's it, that's the secret. Right, so let's get started. All we're going to do is we're going to add our coarsely ground black pepper, sprinkle of salt, and then we are just going to mix this through. Like so. Then it's out into the board. And what we're going to be using today to form this is a burger press. Now, you can use your hands. Absolutely fine, no problem there at all. I'll be using one of these because I have one. You can get them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. I'll also be using one of these, which is just a burger disc, so the consistency of grease-proof paper. So you just pop that on the top, put on your burger press, push down, and voila, there is our burger ready for cooking. I'm going to pop this back in the fridge now until it's time to hit the barbecue outside. Now we're going to have a go at making our Diane sauce. What I've got here is just a regular frying pan. I do have some olive oil in, and I've just put some black peppercorns in just to kind of let them kind of toast up. Initially, you don't need too much. I've probably got about 10-15 in there, nothing amazing. So the first thing that we're going to do is add in, it's 1 banana shallot and a clove of garlic. So we're just going to pop them in, and we're just going to sweat these down. Not looking to massively cook through. So you don't need a super high heat at this point. Just about medium heat is fine. Then what we're going to do is add in 40 grams of mushrooms, like so. And we're just going to add in a small knob of butter as well. It's just a case of cooking that down. Right, once the mushrooms have started to soften, it's the fun bit. What we're going to do is we're going to add in about 25 mils of cognac. We'll add that in. That's probably about enough. And the fun part is we get to light it, like so. And what we're looking for is just for the flames just to die down. There. Like so. That was a great aroma coming off this now. So that's looking really, really good. So maybe just turn the heat down slightly on that. So now that's the cognac in, everything is softened, looking great. We are going to add half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, like so, and we're going to add half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, like so. And just mix that through. Okay. And then the last piece of the puzzle is to add 75 mils of double cream, like so. There. And what you're looking to do is just cook this through until it all binds together and starts to thicken slightly. So now we're going to have a bash at deep frying our onion rings. I've made a very, very simple gluten-free batter for this one, which is just gluten-free flour, water, and a little bit of salt. So we're going to take our first onion ring, coat it in the batter, and we're going to pop that in, like so. And then the second one, like so. If it all gets a bit hot, don't worry, just turn it down. What we're looking for here is just a sort of light brown sort of coating on them. And here are onion rings ready. I've actually done 2 batches today, as I'm going to be making 2 burgers. You know when they're done, as again, a little bit brown on the outside, very crispy, and they are floating in the oil. And it's just a case of taking them out, and we'll just let them drain on some kitchen roll, and then they will be ready for our burgers. So to cook our burgers today, we're going to be cooking on the Weber Spirit E310. It's a gas grill. I've had this now for a couple of years, absolutely love it. We're going to be using the gourmet barbecue system on the inside with the sear grate attachment in there as well, to really try and get a nice sear across the steak and the burgers. So we're going to start building our burger now. We've had our steak out. It was probably about sort of 6-7 minutes outside, but we've come in and we've let it rest for exactly the same period of time. That's really key to ensuring that the steak is super tender and juicy. So we're going to give it a wee cut now. And I'll get a photo of this on the screen. It's lovely and pink in the middle, exactly medium rare, which is just how we want it. So here's everything that we need to assemble our burger. Burgers are cooked, steak's done. We've got some tomatoes and some shredded sweet gem lettuce. We've got our onion rings. We've got some pickles. We've got our Diane sauce and some mayonnaise. So let's just get to putting these together. So we're going to start with a little bit of mayonnaise on the bottom of each bun, like so. There we go. And then we're going to pop some lettuce on. Do that. Brilliant. Then it's our beef tomatoes. Then we have our burgers, 1 and 2. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our steak and start to just pop that across the burger, like so. A couple of bits stuck together. There. Come on. And there. Now, what we're going to try and do is we're going to pop on an onion ring, and in the onion ring, we're going to use a little bit of our Diane sauce. So I've just warmed this back up, and I have added just a touch more cream into it, just that it's starting to really thicken up. So I just wanted to, just pop a little bit more in there, like so, plenty left over. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the top of our buns, like so. Now, as you can see, they are fairly tall. So the way to ensure they don't all fall apart is we're going to take another onion ring on the top, and we're going to put our steak knife all the way through, like so. And that will secure it to ensure it doesn't fall apart. And there you have it, the Dirty Dianas. And what we're going to do is we're going to serve them with some pickles on the side. Big fan of pickles here, like so. I'll get some photos on the screen just now so you can see this. So that's our burgers complete now, so it's time for a taste test. Now I have cut this in half because they are mammoth. So here goes. Absolutely beautiful. That Diane sauce really, really makes that. Lovely burgers, very, very juicy steak. Diane sauce, just with that mustard in it, just adds that little kick to it that you need to really accentuate the flavors of the steak. So I hope you like the look of this. Please give it a shot. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous burger, and believe me, if you did this for people coming around, they would absolutely thank you for it. So there you have it, the Dirty Diana in all its glory. If you've liked what you've seen today, please hit that like button, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Also hit that bell notification for future updates. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.